Life's problems have their own schedule. So do you. When you need someone to talk to, Serena is there. Follow the link in the description for your free trial.
GF, 29 female, ignored me, 28 male, at her staff Xmas party. So my GF, 29 female, and I, 28 male, have been together 9 months and things have been going good. We even live together now. My girlfriend let me know I could tag along to her Xmas party. It meant I would have to come after the meal however because I'm not part of the company but I did used to work there before. So I ended coming a bit later somewhat spontaneously because my girlfriend messaged me only with a few minutes notice that I am now allowed to join them even though she said she would message me earlier. She basically forgot to let me know, she even said so. I was contemplating at this point if I should still go or not and ended up still going. I turned up with a really nice suit and shirt and all my other ex-colleagues were happy to see me and even stood up to greet me. But my girlfriend stayed seated the entire time. Another ex-colleague offered me a drink and even poured me some wine while my girlfriend just sat there. She didn't even compliment my attire or anything which I put a lot of effort into. I eventually get to sit next to my girlfriend but a few moments after she gets up to use the toilet after which she goes out to have a cigarette with other colleagues. Nothing wrong with this but she doesn't even let me know or anything. It felt kinda bad to be sat there on my own at a Xmas party that she invited me to. I let her know straight away how I was feeling and then she apologized. I hope it wasn't an overreaction on my part to get upset. TLRGF invited me to come to her Xmas party but showed me little to no attention and I got upset and told her about it. Was it okay to be upset? Edit, update. Wow. I did not think this would blow up this well. Thank you all so much for your advice. I will do my best here to try and answer all the open questions from the comments. Some more context to how the evening ended up going. After my girlfriend apologized, I must say she did go out of her way to make sure she sat next to me the rest of the evening. She showed a lot of affection and I really appreciate that. I don't believe it was an empty apology. Context to me GF. She is indeed introverted and little awkward moments like this have occurred in the past and we have always been able to talk about it. Could it have been an innocent mistake on her part? Context to the company. I was somewhat of a celebrity at this company and implemented a lot of changes that are still in use today. I left because I found a better opportunity somewhere else. I knew about 70% of my ex-colleagues that were present. Perhaps my girlfriend thought I would have been fine on my own in this setting? Context to the Xmas party and why I had to come later. Generally the +1 rule was not allowed and I was the only external partner that was allowed to tag along. Although it was decided on the night that partners could spontaneously join us if they wanted for after-dinner drinks. I know her boss pretty well and he asked her especially for me to come. Her boss literally asked me during the event if I would consider coming back to the company XD. More context in general to the evening. She had told me already a few weeks prior that her boss had said I would be allowed to come. They had a specific program for the evening for the employees, with speeches and stuff which all occurred during the meal. It would have been weird for me to sit there as only partner in the moment. As such my girlfriend would let me know when they started eating so that I may know at what time I might be able to join. This message, to let me know when I could come, is what she forgot. I never got this notice. I believe they started eating around 8 p.m., which was later than she expected. The next message came from her around 9:30 p.m. and this is what bothered me. Her message was simply, "Are you coming soon? Here is the address." So perhaps she got caught up in the evening and forgot to let me know. When she messaged me I told her that it was already kinda late and that it didn't make much sense anymore to come. At this point she bombarded me with messages to please come. This is what she said to my points. In terms of not receiving the message, she simply forgot. When I arrived she was sat next to her boss in a corner on the far edge of the table and for her to get up would mean everyone on the table having to get up so she can greet me. So she basically waited in this moment that I come to her. She was a bit overburdened at this point, perhaps not knowing what the correct social interaction is. When she went to the toilet and had the cigarette without saying anything, she said she had had a look to see what I was doing and I was talking to another colleague at this point so she just went. She apologized that she didn't let me know. She promised that this won't happen again. My current feeling to all this. I don't believe my girlfriend did this intentionally. I am pretty much 100% sure on this. I have chosen to forgive her on this because she apologized and did something about it. Communication is so f***ing important. This seems to be a rather over-analyzed misunderstanding. That being said, I will not forget this and I will keep a keen eye on stuff like this in the future. I am still hurt, but I think prolonging this will only damage us at this point. I can't imagine she had a workplace boyfriend, though I can understand how this conclusion came about. I thought about this too, but I occasionally pick her up from work and we would greet with a kiss in front of her colleagues. And I know her colleagues well and they know that we are together, so why would she choose to hide this in some way at the Xmas party? Thanks again for your insightful feedback, it really helped me a lot to get through this. Wishing you all a pleasant holiday season. I just went with a guy friend to his Xmas party and he came outside to fetch me when I arrived, greeted me warmly, introduced me to everyone and grabbed me a drink from the open bar all within 5 minutes. Also encouraged me to have the food there. Does your girlfriend even like you? This is a red flag to me. That an asshole move to invite someone to a party then ignore them. And, man, 9 months is super fast to be living together. Good luck. She didn't want to mix her work boyfriend with her out-of-work boyfriend and felt awkward. She didn't want to make her work boyfriend jealous. Damn, her company is stingy. My company had food and unlimited drinks for employees and their plus ones. Unless she excluded you from dinner intentionally. Just found condoms in my girlfriend of 7 years drawer. My girlfriend, 26 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for 7 years, but the last year and a half has been rocky. We both grew up with sexual trauma that has affected our sex life. We haven't had sex in nearly a year and a half, but it's something I thought we were working through together. The last time we had sex was when I opened up to her about my sexual trauma from childhood. She has felt uncomfortable around sex ever since. I started going to therapy shortly after and I realized I should have told her about my childhood trauma in the beginning of our relationship, but I honestly never planned to tell anyone. Fast forward to April, I left for 5 months to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, and when I returned in August, she acted noticeably different towards me. She hasn't been affectionate towards me whatsoever. We kiss because I want to kiss, usually just when one of us is leaving for work. I just found condoms inside a sock in her drawer. She's currently at work and won't be home until after I leave for work. I work nights, but all I want to do is talk to her. I'm kind of panicking right now. How can I confront this? Too long did not read. I found condoms in my girlfriend's drawer, but we haven't had sex in over a year. What I'm reading here is, my girlfriend and I were having problems, but I left for 5 months and things have gotten worse. We haven't had sex in nearly a year and a half. You haven't had sex in nearly a year and a half. Look, I'm not gonna even go into the traumas y'all have. What I'm focused on is how you went on a 5-month hiking trip when you already didn't have sex for a year? And you're surprised when she was different when you came back. I'm not saying she was cheating, but that trip sure sounds like it wouldn't have helped the problems you were already having. Some people use condoms to cover sex toys, but the change in attitude, the long absence, and the condoms tell us all we need to know. Talk to her, but it sounds like the boat has sailed and your relationship is over. I don't know if she's having an affair or it was in the past. Whatever is happening seems to be signaling the end. Therapist told me she may need to discontinue services because of my relationship. Edit. I have reached out to a family member again. I am hoping she does not write me off this time, as she has in the past. If I cannot stay with her, I will see if I can be accepted at a shelter. There are not many around where I am. I do not want to disclose my location as it would likely out me as my S.O. as a well-known person. I found a program that is similar to a halfway house through one of the hospitals I have had surgery. I have to be approved, but I am working on gathering info for that. There is a blizzard coming, so I cannot drive through it safely. I will have to be smart about that. I can see about finding a cheap hotel to stay at or a friend's, but I cannot leave the state in my car with weather like this. My car is a non-human lifeline, so I do need it. I understand what you are all saying about my therapist and I agree. I have said that quite a few times in the comments. I don't feel sorry for myself? I've unfortunately incessantly concluded that right now I hate myself and want my ass kicked into fucking gear. My mother did exactly this. Was also beaten, along with myself and my sister, so the understanding of the danger is not what I'm lacking. Unfortunately, I came here because I did not feel my situation was that bad and just felt that people I have talked to about it were biased. Understandably so. I have also convinced myself I am dramatic and that what is happening to me is not as bad as it could be. Which is often what I tell my therapist when it comes up. About therapy, my therapist and I have only had maybe 4 or 5 sessions specifically talking about my partner. I rarely want to talk about it. I do want to clarify that she is not single-handedly making these plans. I am talking through them, she helps me make a pros and cons list. I have a hard time accepting help for myself. When I accepted help from someone in the past, I was sexually assaulted in a place I thought I was finding relief from abuse. So I struggled to feel safe all of the time. So I weigh, is this more safe than this option, constantly in my mind. According to my therapist, I have a bleeding heart for everyone else and a knife to my throat for myself. And I am trying disgusting hard to do this. I am going to provide more updates as they come. For context, I'm a 25 female married to 26 male. We've been married for about 6 years. I have a background of severe trauma and have been in therapy, pro bono, for several years. My current therapist has been my provider for a year. We have been working extensively on my trauma, is therapy, DBT, the works. I was doing well. Finally reaching my window of tolerance, which I was in and then would be pushed right out of it. Mostly by my partner and his family. My in-laws are honestly terrible. Both to me and my partner. I don't have a relationship with my family other than when they manipulate into one. That being said, I don't have a ton of support. I don't live in the state I grew up in and have never really gone out of my way to make friends. I'm socially awkward and the friends I do have lives that include children, so I see them when they are free. My partner and I have always had the same issues, well over a decade. We have attempted to work through them but they are not getting any better. We have sought help individually and have considered couples therapy, but I am honestly to a point that I don't think it will help. I'm struggling because I have a hard time letting go of partners and I will generally hang on until the bitter, nasty end. I have been in 2 abusive relationships prior to this. I was a minor and these were adult men I was arranged to have relationships with by members of a cult. Now to the current situation. We have knocked down, drag out fights. To the point to where I worry it will become physical. He has thrown things and put holes in the wall because of it and then apologizes and whatnot. Then I feel bad. He has issues because his mom left when he was young, so when I want to leave, I get guilt-tripped and then feel awful about leaving like his mom did. The last few times we have gotten into it, I don't even recognize myself because of my reactions. After the fact, I feel cold and just full of indifference, hatred. I don't really even like him anymore. But I unfortunately am financially dependent on him. I have health issues that have hindered me from working a full-time job for quite some time and I am not able to leave unless I rely on others, people who are responsible for most of my trauma. My therapist and I have sat down and created a safety plan for me, as my mental state is not good. She also wrote out pros and cons of different ways to leave. This has been a vicious cycle for years, but mainly the past 11 months. I often think about and start to leave, but then I second-guess myself and go back. My therapist has made it very clear that I am in an unhealthy, toxic and abusive relationship. I am not getting my emotional, mental, sexual or physical needs met. Financially? Yes, but the rest? Absolutely not. At my last session, my therapist let me know that, if I do not change the environment that I am in and continue to regress, I will have no choice but to discontinue services, as she will no longer be able to assist me. She also cannot continue to watch abuse happen and do nothing about it. There are good times, but the bad outweighs them. I often feel a void during the positive times because I am waiting for the bad to come. I understand that that is the cycle of abuse, but it is really hard to deal with being in this situation. I guess what I need is this worth losing my therapist over? Is this something I should continue to put effort toward? If not, can you please leave kind words of encouragement because I really need to find a way out of this so that I can live a life that is meaningful. Right now, I don't see that ever happening. Your therapist is frustrated because you are clearly in a toxic situation you need to leave but won't, and no matter how much they try to help you keep making excuses to remain. Your therapist is human as well, so you constantly putting them in this position is hard on them, they can only do so much. I suspect that any good therapist will be frustrated by your lack of action or unwillingness to leave. But you can always find another one who will tell you what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear. You're asking strangers to give you advice when a licensed professional has been telling you to leave for almost a year. I feel like it doesn't matter what Reddit has to say. Your lack of action and commitment to your personal health is leaving your therapist without advice or further options to assist you. The fact that you're considering your relationship now because of you might lose your therapist instead of leaving the abusive, toxic situations because it's harmful to you is concerning. BF quit his job and wants me to pay him for driving me to work. I'm losing attraction. Been living together for a year, no financial issues until just over a month ago. My boyfriend worked for his boss in an easy-going office job but got in an argument with the boss's sister and he wouldn't apologize, so he was let go. Problem is his boss is our landlord and green card sponsor too, so I'm nervous. I work as an optician during the week. Monday Fri I get home around 8 p.m. each day. He wants to be a tattoo artist but he only tattoos his friends illegally. He doesn't get enough cash to pay rent or his car or his half of car insurance. Rent is $800, his car is $600. The car is under my name, but worst case scenario I only owe $5,000 left for my car payments because I've been paying principal payments all year, so I can take over his car payments if I pay mine off with my tax return in March since it's under my name, or sell his car if he can't do it. I think he's been borrowing money from his mom for rent. We went out for breakfast and in Spanish I understood some things. It seemed like she was trying to help him find a job, but he was telling her he doesn't want to work, he wants to be self-employed, and she confirmed by telling me that. She seemed annoyed, and so am I. How is it fair I have to work 2 jobs and he gets to do what he wants? How's it fair to his mom to give him money? He ended up admitting he needs a job. He asked me for my social so he can Uber Eats. I told him I don't want him using my social and messing up my car insurance and taxes and using a car in my name to make petty cash. I don't want legal trouble, and I said no. He asked again a few days later and I told him no and got mad and told him it's rude to ask me to fake legal things for him to work. He pulled a victimizing attitude and told him his entire existence in America is not legal and he didn't know what's wrong or right. That's bullshit, cuz I used to work cash jobs and flower shops all my life and only got my citizenship 3 years ago. I'm not naive or insensitive. I offered him cash jobs off the Polish newspaper and translated it for him to work where I used to at wedding halls for cash, and he refused because he wants to be self-employed. So he can work at times he wants, that's why he wants to Uber. I got a second job, weekends working with friend cleaning after animals. It's really nasty work but offers cash and a lot of it for the time spent, $50,100 per house, which takes an hour, so it's my best choice at the moment. It's my friend's business and she offered me the job because she needs help with her customer overload and I'm poor. I asked if my boyfriend can try, she said no cuz he's lazy, she doesn't want to waste time train someone who's a quitter, and that's fair. He also doesn't have patience to detail, and one mistake can kill an animal or get it sick, she doesn't want that either. I told my boyfriend I'm starting to work with my friend and he got upset because he wanted me to do Uber Eats with him on the weekend. I asked him what he means by that and he said he was thinking he can drive around with me in the car so I can grab and drop off the food while he drives. I don't want to be doing this work for him, WTF. That's a waste of my time and energy. I said no, I'll make money with my friends, and he offered to drive me around from house to house on my clean days for half the money. I got really angry and just said no, he can't work with me, and he got upset and acted like the victim and said I'm spoiled for crying over working 2 jobs while he has none. I was crying because I'm exhausted working 7 days a week for 3 weeks. I feel like he's so lazy and it's turning me off and I'm upset, but if I cry or complain he acts like the victim and then it's worse. IDK what to do to save money in the relationship. It's shocking to me how common this dynamic is on this sub. You have one person who is responsible, ambitious, and seemingly intelligent with a partner who is the opposite of all those things, and the smart one is wondering how to salvage it. Here's a clue. Find a better partner. He didn't quit, his crap attitude got him fired. If he's already in the US, it's too late for his immigration sponsor to withdraw that sponsorship. However, this guy is going nowhere fast and he's going to take you down with him if you don't free yourself. Stop paying him to drive you, you've got a car, drive yourself. Don't even think about taking over his car note, that would be financially suicidal. You're just on a different, more responsible life track, but he's not doing a whole lot. Save yourself and end this. Good luck.